Hey, today is May 20th, I believe. It's a Thursday. I took four trades today, and I'm gonna be quickly going over all four. Uh, Overall, my trading was very poor today. I took a huge hit psychologically. I started questioning a lot of things as well. So just a little bit of background. I, woke up. I woke up early, tried to go back to sleep, and I woke up like 2 minutes before market open, so like psychologically I just wasn't prepared. And then I started forcing trades which I would never ever take. um, I was so focused on the money today for some reason. I started trading dangerously as well. That's just something I can't afford to do. This game is already so hard, I can't make it harder for myself. So let's start with the first trade I took is on Nvidia. um, okay, higher time frame analysis. And before I hop into these trade recaps, I just want to talk a little bit about uh, what my biggest roadblock is right now. And lately, I've been noticing just through journaling in these video recaps that uh, I used to be extremely focused on volume. I wouldn't take any trades without proper volume confirmation. And now I'm only taking trades, with relative strength. So what I noticed I'm doing in this is actually becoming a problem is that I'm basing the premise of my strategy now around a single confirmation. And that can be dangerous. I'm missing out on high quality setups just because I'm so focused objectively on a couple of things. And as a trader, that's just something you cannot afford to do. You cannot base your strategy around one or two single confirmations. You have to look subjectively. Um, High quality setups may have relative strength sometimes, and they may not. High quality setups may have low volume sometimes, and sometimes they may have good volume. So it really just depends. My job is to be looking subjectively, not objectively, just looking at the context in general, really identifying what is a high quality setup. And really, all a high quality setup is a trade with a good thesis and plan with multiple confirmations backing it up. Doesn't always have to be relative strength, doesn't always have to be volume, but that's what I started to do. And that is the thing I'm going to actively be trying to fix in my trading. So let's start with Nvidia first of all. So Nvidia, if you go to the daily time frame, we had this trend line resistance act as resistance several times. We were in a clear downtrend, and today was a day where Nvidia finally broke out of this, downtrend resistance line. So today would be a great opportunity to play some calls. So that's just a higher time frame analysis. Go to the 5-minute chart. Uh, so what does Nvidia do on the first 5-minute candle? First of all, it gaps up above 30-minute supply. This is now invalid. Rallies through both 30-minute supply and 45-minute supply. So Nvidia is very strong. Let me just remove this. So all supply is now invalid. Where's our next supply? 4-hour supply here. I'm pretty sure we almost tagged it. But essentially we didn't have supply for a long time above. On top of that, Nvidia broke out of this daily time frame wedge, so that's already one confirmation. The second confirmation is the fact that, okay, so I talked about breaking out this longer term wedge. This nice, so we move higher on good volume, we consolidate on lower volume, but we still hold value. And then towards the breakout, you can see at 10, then 10.05, then 10.10, we're increasing in volume. So that already is 3 confirmations, I believe. The fourth confirmation is what is NQ and ES doing? So NQ extremely bullish move. The first 20 minutes we ripped through supply. Same thing with ES. ES isn't as strong as NQ, but both ES and NQ are very strong. And at this point, we had ripped through our respective supply zones, so it's safe to play calls. So the strength of ES and NQ was another confirmation for this trade. And on top of that, we had a beautiful 15-minute RB and arm. So rally, base, and rally. So, beautiful 15-minute RBR. So this trade had several confirmations backed up by both ES and NQ. You can probably see that I didn't mention relative strength on an intraday time frame for this play because, I mean, if you compare it to NQ, NQ had 4 straight bullish candles while Nvidia only had 3 and then started pulling back. Well, the pullback on NQ essentially wasn't as great as it was on Nvidia. But, that's what I'm talking about. Nvidia had several other confirmations backed up by a higher time frame analysis. So what does that mean? That just means that this was a high quality setup despite it having relative strength. So I'm going to talk about where I entered. Again, this messed me up psychologically because I entered after the break. I tried getting filled slightly before the break, but by the time my order went through and it was actually a market order, I got filled, practically at the ask. I bought the inflated premium. At this point, I'm very, very scared. So psychologically, I'm not good going into this trade. We did have this 5-minute, rally. I wanted us to get above 580. 580 is a rounded number, so that's yet another confirmation. But we failed to close above this. But then, on the next candle, we started rallying. But as soon as I saw this slight pullback, I exited my position. I was very hesitant. But Dylan talked about this too. I DM'd him and he said, "You're giving I'm giving my trade 25 cents to breathe. That's simply not enough." Yes, my plan did fail, but if I had entered slightly before the break, I would still be in profit. I would have capitalized on this small premium spike. This pullback essentially wouldn't hurt me because it's so insignificant, and then we would start moving higher. Yes, it wasn't the greatest move, but on Nvidia, a $3 move is actually a pretty big deal, especially because the contracts were so volatile. I remember buying up here, and at this point the contracts are up $100. So imagine how much they're up here. But again, I don't want to focus on the money that's been hurting me. Essentially, this was a high quality trade. I did manage to enter, but I did stop out for a $5 loss. So I took a $5 loss. Not a big deal, but psychologically, I messed up entering after the break. That's just something I cannot afford to do. I really, really need to stay focused. That and just trading more subjectively are the 2 biggest things I'm working on. This next one's even worse. This is just disappointing to look at, but what did BABA do? My second trade was on BABA. As always, start with the higher time frame analysis. Going into BABA, there was actually a clear resistance, and you usually don't see this on most of the equities. They're pretty choppy, but on BABA we had 215 act as clear as day resistance. Let me just mark that up for you. So just like Nvidia had broken out of that longer term wedge, and BABA was breaking out of 1 hour resistance. 215 is a key. 215 is a psychological number. It's rounded. 210, 215, 220 are all important levels. But in this case, 215 acted as clear resistance once, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 215 is definitely a level to pay attention to. A strong break above 215 could easily trigger a move higher. Let's go down to an intraday time frame now. You can see that BABA does move up. Again, we don't have relative strength. The reason I say that is because NQ started moving extremely bullish up in the first 20 minutes, while BABA kind of consolidated in the first 20 minutes. So on an intraday time frame, I guess we don't have relative strength, but we did have several other confirmations. 1, ES and NQ were extremely strong. 2, we broke this 215 major key level. 3, BABA was ripping through supply. What else? So I talked about, ES and NQ had a strong move up. BABA had this 215 key level. And in these higher time frame analysis, trades tend to work out a lot better. 4, we had a nice base rally. And I'm pretty sure there was even like a small little... Okay, so I think Dylan drew like a trend line here, something like this, But to me, this trend line and this resistance are practically the same thing. So, we had 4 or 5 confirmations going into this trade. Yes, we didn't have relative strength. that is okay because there are other confirmations backing up this trade. This is still a high probability trade. Where I entered was, where did I enter? Okay, so I entered right here. I keep on entering after the breakout, and that's literally killing me. I remember entering at like 144. That's where I got filled. Uh, like a couple of seconds before, it was at like 130. So I'm paying inflated premium. I cannot afford to do that. Again, I enter after the break. We have this upper wick on both of these candles, so I get hesitant and I stop out. I stopped out for a 4 cent loss, and next thing you know, this runs up like 40, 50 cents. And keep in mind, I am playing 4 contracts. So just imagine where I am psychologically. I took a $16 hit, nothing, not a big deal at all. But then we rally and I would have been up 200. Again, it's not about the money. I need to stop focusing on that. It's more about the execution. Why the hell would I enter after the break knowing this was a high quality setup? I need to enter slightly before the break. But another thing I want to talk about really, really quickly is honestly, entering before the 215 break in most cases is good. But in this case, it's actually a little bit different. Why is because we have a clear caution factor, and that is decreasing volume towards the breakout. Lately, since I've been focusing on relative strength, I haven't been giving any importance to volume at all. And that's just something I simply cannot afford to do. I need to look at all of these factors combined. We're decreasing in volume towards the break. If we're consolidating, pulling back, then it's fine if we have lower volume because consolidation periods tend to have lower volume. But this is a nice aggressive move to a higher time frame key level. Please say I'm recording. Okay, I'm recording. This is a nice move towards a major key level with no real periods of consolidation. I'm fine playing those, but then I need volume to back up my thesis. And volume did the exact opposite. It was decreasing towards the breakout. So a more feasible entry, in my opinion, it would be that, okay, so, now we started increasing in volume. We did have these upper wicks, but now that we started setting up a 5-minute rally-based rally with good volume, a much better entry would have been here because now I know buyers are interested due to this higher volume. If volume was still low, I probably wouldn't have even taken the trade because volume being low at a major breakout is a huge red flag. But now that volume increased and we are holding value, take the 5-minute RBR. This would have been a beautiful trade. Doesn't look like much, but 75 cents to $1 on BABA is 30, 40 cents. And if you're playing like 30 contracts, that is a beautiful move. I remember Dylan entered right here. He said that he wasn't ready to enter here due to the decreased volume, which makes complete sense. This was a huge red flag. Overall, a lot of things to fix on this trade. Even if I did enter slightly after the break, I guess it does make sense why I exited. But if I was playing this before, have to enter before the breakout. There's a caution factor like decreasing volume. Wait for buyers to confirm with volume. So yeah, took a 4-cent loss on this. Super disappointed. I don't even want to talk about these next couple of trades, but I'll just quickly go over them. No thesis at all. For some reason, I saw Boeing increase in volume, so I took this 5-minute RBNR. I made a couple of cents, maybe played like 4 contracts, made like 10, 15 cents. Okay, so going into my horrible trades, I was only down $29. Not a big deal at all, $29 playing 4 contracts it's really amazing, that type of risk management. But psychologically I messed up. I felt like I missed out on 2 big moves, so I took this 5-minute RBR with momentum. But what's going on with BABA? Do we have relative strength? Not at all. Boeing pulled back on this. Oh, sorry if I said BABA, I meant Boeing. Boeing pulled back aggressively on this first candle, so in fact we have relative weakness on Boeing. Are we breaking any sort of like key level resistance area? Not really. The major resistance area I have is around 230, and we are still in a downtrend. So no real higher time frame analysis on this. So not only do we have relative weakness, but nothing on a higher time frame. So there's really no reason to take calls on this because there are stronger equities. But because I saw this volume increase, I took this 5-minute RBR. Horrible trading on my end. I got lucky. I just cannot afford to take these types of trades. Next one, even worse. Facebook did have a nice move in the morning, a very, very bullish move. It actually showed relative strength to NQ. And, Facebook has been some of the stronger equities. But then, we start pulling back somewhat aggressively here, yeah, from 9:40 to around 10:30. And what is NQ doing? NQ is rallying, ES is rallying. So NQ and ES are clearly stronger than Facebook. Uh, where did I? Yeah, so I said that ES and NQ are clearly stronger than Facebook. Where I entered was I tried to anticipate the 318 intraday resistance breakout. First mistake is I chased this consolidation period. Horrible, horrible decision. I just really wanted to get into this 318 break when there was no confirmation going into this trade. In a higher time frame, uh, we actually did break above this nice resistance around 316ish, but cannot enter at 316 here. Why? Because at 935, where's NQ? NQ has clear supply, clear as day. Yes, I know we rallied through it, but that's one of my rules. NQ has fresh supply. I'm not taking calls on any of the equities. So 316 would have been the only feasible play. Maybe if we had showed strength, then a 318 breakout would be good. But the breakout already had happened. We are now showing relative weakness, making lower lows, while NQ and ES are grinding up. So relative weakness, no real higher time frame analysis except for this 316 breakout, which already happened. A very, very low quality or mediocre trade in my opinion, and I did lose $87 on this. So this was the big hit. I don't even know. I entered here. I kind of bag held this. I think I exited somewhere around here. Yeah, very, very disappointed. So yeah, I'm just gonna end the video here. A couple of things I need to work on is obviously trading more subjectively. I have this intuition if it's a good or bad trade, but I tend to ignore it. I really just need to trust myself. I know what good quality setups are because I've traded in this market and I have experience. I know what mediocre setups are, so I really just need to put my foot down and say no if it's a mediocre setup, and if it's a high quality setup, even though it might not have relative strength or might not have volume, take the trade. Rambled for quite a bit, 17 minutes, 18 minutes, but I'm going to end the video here, and I hope you guys had a better day than me, and I am looking forward to tomorrow now.